guys, welcome back to my channel. I apologize for the way that I look. I'm actually super sick. I've been in bed for almost 48 hours at this point, and I thought I promised myself that I was gonna commit 2 hours 5 days a week for my YouTube channel, and I skipped yesterday, and I'm gonna make up for that on Saturday, but I am not skipping today. So I decided I was gonna sit down and film a video, and I actually do have something to talk about that I really want to talk about. So you may not know this because I haven't really mentioned this anywhere, but I started this YouTube channel as my life video diary, as a tool of self-reflection, and I just really want to share my life experiences with you in hopes that maybe some of you may relate to my stories, what I'm going through, my life lessons. So speaking of life experiences, I'm going through some conflicts in my life right now with some people, and conflicts for me, and really probably for everybody, but for me, they're very unpleasant, uncomfortable. They just give me so much anxiety. So let me just briefly kind of fill you in, let you know what's going on. So I have a family member. I'm not gonna mention specifically who it is, but this family member, we were on good terms, everything was great, we were very friendly, and then all of a sudden one day that person got really upset with me about something, and I own up to it. Like, probably I did upset her, it was not my intention, and she just got me out of her life. I messaged her once, and then she ignored me. Second time, ignore. Third time, ignore. And honestly, I don't like to be ignored, and I didn't know what was going on, so I just started to feel really anxious about it. And I was really feeling a cocktail of emotions at the time. I was feeling insecure, upset, sad, angry, and I honestly had no idea what to do with those emotions. She responded a few days later letting me know that she was upset with me about ABC. I apologized. I told her let's just move on, and she accepted, and we just moved on. Fast forward to last week, we spent some time together, and then a couple days later I texted her about something else. And just to be clear, she's never the type of person who doesn't text back or who reads a message and then forgets to reply. She always remembers to reply, but this time, once again, she ignored my message. And at this point, my PTSD kicked in, and all those emotions from last time, from last year, resurfaced. And so here we are talking about it on the internet. So a few years ago, when I was a lot younger, my main goal in life was just to avoid conflict altogether. I was so naive because I really thought I could do it. So much so that actually up until last year, I thought that I could get by just avoiding conflict, and I quit my job because I was working in retail management, and it involved a lot of conflict, misunderstandings with my boss, with my staff, with my clients. And at that time, and just generally all the time, the main source of stress and anxiety in my life is conflict with other people. So a year after I quit my job, I pretty much realized now that quitting or my job was really not the issue, because I continued to have conflicts. I had a fight with my sister recently. I have fights with my mom and now this other family member. And I continue to have really bad anxiety. And I think it's almost worse this time because I don't have a distraction of a job. Like, I used to go to work and be able to distract myself, but not anymore. I'm just always alone at home with my thoughts. So then I thought, okay, I'm gonna change my goal because clearly I can't avoid conflict. I don't think anyone can. But my goal is now to just stop caring what other people think. If they get upset with me, I'm not gonna get this anxiety. I'm not gonna get uncomfortable because of these emotions. And when I was discussing this with my therapist, she said something so simple yet so important to me that I couldn't not share it with you. She said to me that this notion of complete, full, 100% independence is something that many people strive for, and it's unattainable. It's a myth. It cannot happen. We will never be free from other people. Our actions will affect other people, and other people's actions will affect us. None of us exist in a silo. Thinking that other people's actions will never affect me is kind of ridiculous, because I am a part of a community. I am a part of a family, an ecosystem. An understanding of this really explained the roots of my discomfort with conflict. When people turn their backs on me as a result of conflict, my primal brain kicks in and thinks that I'm no longer safe in this world. My survival instincts kick in and I physically feel fear in my body. Like when I think about this person that I just recently, I think, had a conflict with, I'm not sure, she's just ignoring me, but when I think about it, I literally feel this sensation in my chest, kind of like a release of adrenaline or something. I don't know what it is exactly, but I feel it, physically feel it in my body. And I think it's happening because historically, social rejection for humans has always meant death. We literally cannot survive without others for too long. That's why it feels so utterly painful to be rejected or to be ignored. So, is it possible to stop caring what other people think of you? I doubt it. Not for me, at least. And I think not for anyone who is a mentally healthy, psychologically functioning adult. So I think the real question should be not how do I stop caring what others think of me. The real question should be how do I manage what other people think? So I just want to share two things that have helped me so far, and I hope they really help you as well. Number one, focus on you instead of the other person. So now that we've established that it's impossible to not care what others think, instead, then I think now we understand that we cannot avoid our feelings. The feelings will come up to the surface. There's no such thing as bad feelings. They're all valid. But the real question becomes, how do I cope with my feelings? Because from my story earlier in the beginning of the video, when I was telling you when it happened the first time that this person treated me this way, my method to resolve it was just to apologize, move on, forget about it as quickly as possible. My feelings overwhelmed me so much that all I wanted to do was just escape them. I just wanted to run away from my feelings. And now we know, because it's gonna happen again probably, now we know that that's not really a good solution, because a year later I'm going through the same thing and I'm facing the same emotions because I didn't know how to cope with my feelings the first time it happened. So the lesson for me is, instead of sitting here and talking about how toxic the other person is, how unfair the other person is, and how badly they are handling this issue, instead I need to kind of look within and figure out, okay, what is it that I'm feeling and why am I feeling this way? How do I comfort myself in this situation? What can I learn from this situation? And how do I make sure that if it happens again, I feel safe? So let's talk about what feelings I was feeling when this was happening. I was feeling very insecure. I was feeling physically unsafe, which was weird to me because nothing, like my life was not in danger, but I felt like it was. Very angry and sad, and I just didn't know why I was feeling this way. But then I realized belonging to this community, now that I don't have my job anymore, this was a family member. So belonging to a community of a family is vital for me to feel physically safe. And so for me specifically, connecting with other family members in order to remind myself that I'm not alone, that I'm not in danger, was very important. So actually talking about this issue with my husband helped a lot. And just to clarify, our talks are pretty constructive. Like, we don't spend a lot of time talking about the other person. He was more so helping me understand myself a little bit better and helping me feel secure in this situation. And so after that honest conversation with him, I felt heard, I felt supported, and I felt less alone. Another way of helping myself is just to honestly talk to myself. I sometimes talk to myself out loud. I'm doing it right now, but I'm talking to a camera. But sometimes I find myself talking to myself out loud, and I'll literally say words of comfort to myself, like, you are safe, you are secure, you are not alone, you are loved. When I'm feeling real intense emotions, this helps a lot. And the last thing I want to say about focusing on yourself is physical activity. The gym helps me so much to release all these built up negative emotions. And once that negativity is released, I find that I'm feeling much more balanced. And another quick thing is do something nice for yourself to balance your nervous system. Like take a bath, take care of your sleep, sleep really well, and go do something fun. Okay, and step number 2 is surround yourself with better people. This is something I'm working on, but I definitely need to find people, better people in my life who are, one, gonna respect me, and two, who, if they don't like something about me, their opinion will actually matter to me and will be constructive, not destructive. Surround yourself with people who you look up to and you want to learn from. I think that is key in this particular situation because you actually want their feedback. And if they think that you did something wrong or did something bad, they will most likely just tell you and try to help you improve rather than just ignore you. And so the other side of this is removing toxic people from your life. I was never a believer in just cutting people out, but if they have a toxic effect on you, then maybe it is the only way. But I also believe that it can be done subtly and diplomatically. Like, don't just suddenly stop talking to this person. Maybe it's best to slowly and organically move away from them because we're not here to cause anyone any pain. And lastly, I want to add that it's very therapeutic for me to just sit here and talk to you guys about these things. It helps me organize my thoughts better. It helps me organize my feelings about this situation. And so my last suggestion, this is kind of like a bonus tip, is maybe do something similar. And if you don't feel comfortable sitting and talking to a camera, then maybe you can just journal about it. Because I think when these feelings and emotions are in your head, they're not very organized. It's chaotic. But I think if you talk about them, if you have to, I think that's why therapy is so good, because it forces you to talk about your feelings, about what you're going through. And if you can't do therapy right now, if you prefer not to, if you feel like you can't really talk to a loved one, then journaling is the next best thing. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'm so sorry that I'm coming on today sick and just looking like this, but I just got out of bed for like 20 minutes to film this, and I'm going right back because I think my fever is starting again. So thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful. Like this video as well, and leave a comment if anything like this has ever happened in your life, and I'd love to read it when I feel a little bit better. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.